Welcome to Module Number 2, What is HIPAA? If you are having trouble accessing any of these modules, contact the Chief Privacy Officer at privacy@uvm.edu or call the Office of Audit, Compliance, and Privacy Services at 802-656-3086. Otherwise, let's begin. HIPAA stands for the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. Among other things, it sets standards for the protection of health information. It was passed in 1996. That's over 20 years ago. Many only know HIPAA as the law that protects the privacy and security of health information, but it does more than that. It also allows individuals to take their health insurance with them when they change jobs. It eliminates some pre-existing condition exclusions. It attempts to simplify the administrative burdens, and it provides patients with rights regarding the access, use, and disclosure of their personal information. The focus of this training will be on the privacy rule and how HIPAA requires that covered entities protect PHI, including that which is used for research. To set the stage, it is important to understand how HIPAA defines each of these elements. A covered entity is a health plan, a healthcare clearinghouse, or a healthcare provider who transmits health information in electronic form in connection with a transaction for which the Department of Health and Human Services has adopted a standard. Protected health information, or PHI, is individually identifiable health information held or transmitted by a covered entity or its business associate in any medium, whether electronic, on paper, or oral. PHI excludes education records covered by the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, or FERPA. It is important to note that just because HIPAA excludes student records, that does not mean these records are automatically available for research. It only means that HIPAA defers to FERPA, but we are still required to protect those records under FERPA. In addition to education records, HIPAA also excludes employment records held by a covered entity in its role as employer. Just like with FERPA, though, these records are protected under other federal and state laws, and excluding employment records from HIPAA does not mean that these records are automatically available for research. Health information refers to any information, whether oral or recorded in any form or medium, that 1. is created or received by a healthcare provider, health plan, public health authority, employer, life insurer, school or university, or healthcare clearinghouse, and 2. relates to the past, present, or future physical or mental health or condition of an individual, the provision of healthcare to an individual, or the past, present, or future payment for the provision of healthcare to an individual. Individually identifiable health information means information that is a subset of health information, including demographic information collected from an individual, and 1. is created or received by a healthcare provider, health plan, employer, or healthcare clearinghouse, and 2. relates to the past, present, or future physical or mental health or condition of an individual, the provision of healthcare to an individual, or the past, present, or future payment for the provision of healthcare to an individual, and A. such information identifies the individual, or B. there is a reasonable basis to believe the information can be used to identify the individual. Our final definition in this module is the definition of research. Under HIPAA, research means a systematic investigation, including research development, testing, and evaluation, designed to develop or contribute to generalizable knowledge. This includes the development of research repositories and databases for research. You have now reached the end of Module Number 2. If you are taking this training as part of a requirement, you will have to answer questions in order to move on. Next up is Module Number 3. Why should researchers be aware of HIPAA?